Hi. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are doing well. Good morning. It is, what is today, Monday? So I'm wishing you all a fantastic week. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope your week is starting out well. Um, a lot is changing, but change is good. Change is good, especially when it's positive change, when it's change that, let me fix this, when it's change that is healthy for you. Um, it, you know, Change is always good to a point, right? To a point, change is good. But anyway, I digress. So, good morning. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. I hope your week is starting off well. Um, I just wanted to kind of pop up and say hi. You're going to be seeing a lot more of my face up here. I've had to make a lot of changes within my social apps. Unfortunately, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I do still have the Facebook. So my Facebook is still very much there. So if you have read the post where I said I was getting rid of Facebook, my intent was to get rid of it. They don't make it easy. I even at one point asked for anyone's advice or opinion on how to do it, and all the steps they showed me were the steps I did, but it just kept taking me back in hoops. I would, that last little section, it wasn't giving it to me for some reason. I don't know why, but for your security purposes, it asks for your password, and then once you do that, it's supposed to give you the option to delete it. It wasn't doing that. It kept taking me in circles. I would put in my password, and then it would take me to the sign in post, and then it just wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So I don't know. Meta's always changing their format. They're always changing something. It's like they're always, since Meta bought Facebook, and even Facebook before Meta bought it would do that occasionally, but Meta seems to do it an awful lot. Like you go, even on your phone, you go and the whole thing's different, and you're trying to figure out where the save button is or the record button, or they're always changing it. But anyway, I digress. So yes, I still do have Facebook. However, I do have a lot of my other pages on pause until I go in and remove people, because in order to, for you that maybe, and not a lot of people do, some people just have Facebook and they don't have other pages or other groups. If you have other pages or other groups, in order to get rid of that group, you have to go in and individually move each person until you are the last person left. And then once you leave, it asks you to delete it. Otherwise, it gives you options to pause it or take a break from it or what have you. So I have limited energy, as you that live with CRPS know. Our energy, we have to be very careful with it. And that day I was very overwhelmed. I was very emotional, and I just wanted to get rid of everything. And it was giving me a hard time. So our community is gone. Bubby's Facebook page is gone. So if any of you have been looking for him, he's not there anymore. I may make him a channel over here. I don't know yet, but his page is gone. I just wanted to get rid of everything and just keep just a few items, because I was taking on way too much. Like I had mentioned in the last video drop I did, I was taking on way too much. And I'm a person that likes to stay busy. And when you become this way, you have to find things, different hobbies, things that you enjoy doing to keep your mind busy. You have to keep active. Even though it's really hard most days to do that, you have to try to stay active as much as possible, because if you don't, a lot can go on. And memory fog is one of those things, and we want to keep our memory busy. We want to keep this active. And so I would take on a lot of pages. I would take on a lot of groups. I had many. I counted, the last time I counted, I think, let's see, it was Facebook, Bubby, my Elvis page, Vintage Christmas, Victorian Christmas, that's 5. I had probably close to 10. And the only ones I was able to really get rid of that I had the energy to do was our community, which took me a while because we had over 300 people in there. And then Bubby's page, he had close to 100 people on his page. So I had to go in and individually move. In fact, I think I paused his. I don't even think, I have to go back and check. No, I might have gotten rid of it. I had to go in and individually move each person. And it was just too much. It was just too much that day. So I did a couple groups and then I paused the rest because, like I said, it was just too much that day. I did not have the energy to do it. So I digress with all that. I'm still here. Facebook is still here. Other than YouTube, I have Instagram and then I have Instagram threads. But those are the only groups that I have. I know I have Twitter, which is now known as X. I think I paused that one. I don't know if I got rid of that one completely, but I don't go on that one anymore either. I haven't gone on that one in years. Just way too many social media platforms. And I'm at that age too now where I don't go on Facebook a lot. I'm trying to find a new focus point, and the new focus point, and it's really hard. Before I go any further, I want to say something to you guys. It's really hard for me to put myself first. So when I say I, it bothers me. It almost hurts my ears because I'm learning that it's okay to put myself first. I'm learning that it's okay to choose me first because that's something I never did. That's something that I never did. And when I did do it, I felt very guilty, and I was made to feel guilty by people. So I stopped doing it. I stopped self-love. I stopped choosing me. I just stopped. And to the point where I couldn't stop doing, I had to stop stopping. Meaning I had to start choosing me. I had to start putting my needs ahead of everybody else's. I had to stop ignoring my disability. And that's the one thing, I don't think I've ignored it. I think that I have shown it that I'm not going to just sit back and let it take over my life. And CRPS will do that. For you that are new, for you that are learning and wanting to learn, and you don't know what CRPS means, it's complex regional pain syndrome. That is what I have. I was diagnosed with it almost, well, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 13 years, almost 13 years. It'll be 13 years in November. And I was diagnosed with it after I had an injury to my knee at work. I injured myself at work. And within a week and a half, I was diagnosed with it. I was diagnosed very quickly because I had a lot of symptoms all at one time. In fact, the doctor that diagnosed me told me, I've never seen anyone have so many symptoms at once. Because with complex regional pain syndrome, it's very complex. Because there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of symptoms at one time. And they will develop them over months, over years. And so it makes it really hard for their diagnosis because the doctor's trying to figure out what's going on. And some doctors throw their hands up and go, I don't know what's happening. And then you get shipped off to different doctors. So some people, it's really hard to be diagnosed because it's spread out. Where myself, I had, probably at least 4 or 5 different symptoms when I went. And when I went back a week and a half, that was for my my almost 2-week checkup. So, you know, when you injure yourself at work, you have to fill out an accident form. They send you to Concentra, they examine you, and they sent me home with crutches, a knee brace, and ibuprofen. And then they have you go back 2 weeks to see if you're okay to go back to work. So when I went back it was a week and a half in when I started getting weird stuff. And I remember telling my daughter, this isn't normal. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but this is really weird. And the first symptom I got was my calf, because I had injured the behind my knee. And so from the knee down, my calf got real swollen, and it was red, but it was ice cold. And then I started getting these red and blue polka dots, and it was just really weird. And then I got sensitive to the touch. It was painful. So a week and a half in after my injury, I developed all that. And it was like every morning I woke up with something different. And so when I went for my 2-week checkup, that's when I was told that was my diagnosis. So, my injury was on the 13th of November, and I went back 2 weeks later. So that would be what, the the 27th. So, if you want to get technical, the 27th is the anniversary of my injury, of my diagnosis. Excuse me. And, it's just really, it's just very complex. Also, too, it's had many names over the years. The last known name for it was RSD. And so, people that have CRPS know it as RSD, and others that have it know it as a different name. So, I mean, it's been renamed numerous times. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I'm watching my twin paranormal, so if you hear them in the background, that's what I'm watching. But anyway, so yeah, I am in my new home. I've been here now going on 3 months, actually 4 months, because I moved in April 2nd. So this is 3 months. We're going on 4 months that I've been here. Bubby is loving it. We go for walks around our property, our community. I've been trying to walk more. Some days it's easy, but other days not so much. I have been able to take him, I think, twice without my walker, but I usually take my walker with me. I ended up, I don't remember what day it was now. It might have been Friday? Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I had to go to the store, and I had no way of getting there. Now where I live, and I am saving to get a different scooter. The scooter that I shared with you guys, I do not have that. It's elsewhere right now, but hopefully I will get it back. If not, that's fine too. But I am going to be purchasing a different scooter. So when Bubby and I have to go to the store, we're able to do that. And the scooter I want, it's more simplified. It's not like the one you all seen. But it has a cart, like a basket type thing in the front, and then it has a basket. It almost looks like a milk crate. So it reminds me of like a milk crate basket in the back. And I'm thinking that's where I'm going to put Bubby. That's where he will sit. Or I may get him, they have this seat that you can buy for your vehicle that straps. And I think that might even actually work too if I strap him to the back of the chair of the scooter. So I am looking into getting another scooter. So if him and I do have to go to the store, everything around me that I need, my grocery store, dollar store, my pharmacy, everything is within 20 to 30 minutes from me. If that, like the store we walked to was 22 minutes there by walking, and I used my GPS so I didn't get lost. So it was, because we all know how memory is. So it's 22-minute walk there and a 22-minute walk back. It took us a little over an hour to get home. I used my walker, obviously, but Bubby, he made the walk, probably, he did really well within the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And so I had to put him in my scooter. On the way there, he sat on it. Oh my God. And then I thought my dog was going to die, because I don't know, something happened. He must have jumped down, and the way I was holding his leash, it got wrapped around the handle, and I'm freaking out because my dog is like choking. So I had to. That freaked me out. It was a little tough until I'm like, you know what? We got to do this, Bubby. We're almost there. We're almost there. I mean, he was panting pretty hard, so I put him back up on the seat, and I would push it. And mind you, there's not sidewalks all the way, so it was a little rough terrain. That's why I need a scooter. Um, so when we got to the store, I have like stuff sitting down in the seat basket of my walker. So when we got to the store, I grabbed a bag and put all that stuff in there that I had, and I sat him inside. So on the way home, that's where he was. He was inside the walker, and he was exhausted, but I was exhausted, and I paid for it. I paid for it dearly. Um, I don't live around family. All of my family are over an hour away from me. I do have a friend that lives near me, but she works 6 days a week, and she doesn't get home until like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So I can't always depend on her to, she has picked up my medications for me a couple times. My neighbor actually took me twice to get my medications. She's taken me up to the store twice, but I can't keep relying on other people, and that's what makes it hard. And this is I really need our supporters to listen to this because it's so important that you get it through your head. The community I live in, and I think I've told you guys before, it is this. It's you guys are gonna probably laugh, but the apartments I live in, they're senior citizen and disability apartments. It's not disability. It's not senior. It's not assistant living. There's no nurse. It's independent living. It's just the income is different, and my apartment is set up because it is a disability and senior citizen living. The apartments are set up in a way where they are set up for our needs. And what that means is our doorways are wider because they are wheelchair and walker accessible. So our doors are wider, our doorways are wider. Everything is different. Our kitchen, counters and cupboards and all that, the bathroom, everything is set up for my needs. And that is one thing that I've been trying to do for so long, is try to be in a home that is set up for my needs, and so that it is not me trying to force my situation into a normal life, into a normal society. Our apartments are set up for our needs, and that's the one thing that I have needed for so long. It's really, really hard when we have to, especially when you know what it's like to live in a normal world and in a normal society, and then that's taken away from you. Our life was taken away, and we were given a life that we don't understand, that we had to learn to understand, that we have to fight with every day. And it's so hard when we don't have the accommodations that we need, and we try to set our disability aside and pretend to still be this normal society person. And the fact of the matter is, it's not like that. Now, I still strive every day to live my best life. I'm determined to live in depend on myself. I don't depend on others unless and this is a thing too, and I want to make this very, very, very clear. I don't burden, because that's what I feel like. Anybody that has gone from being this normal, healthy individual to someone who no longer is their own self anymore, our biggest guilt is that we are a burden. And I don't want to be that burden. I live very independently, and I will remain living very independently. Will I need assistance on certain things? Yes. But I don't rely on that assistance all the time. It's really hard because that's the one thing that I've talked about numerous times. Not only with, sorry, my hair's bothering me, not only with you all, but with my therapist. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. That's the last thing I want. And I think that when we do reach, and it's hard for me to ask for help because I am so independent. It's very hard to ask for help, especially when you've never done that. You were always a person that figured it out. You didn't go to others. You figured it out on your own and you got it done. And I've had people say to me, you know, let me know if you need my help. Let me know what I can do for you. Or they offer their services. And when I reach out to that, I'm shot down. And I think what a lot of supporters or friends or family or acquaintances or neighbors or whoever, I think what they're failing to realize, our life is not scheduled. I cannot tell you I need this and this and this on this day at a certain time. It doesn't work that way. When you live with CRPS, it's very unpredictable. We have touched on this base so many times. We have talked about this so many times, and it's still not getting through. Because I've heard how individuals get upset that you're reaching out for help. Or, well, you know, I wish you would have told me this a day ago. It doesn't work that way. We don't know. I have to set up an appointment for a synthetic nerve blocks. I can't tell you when that's going to be. I won't know until they call and tell me what day it is. We don't get to pick and choose. They're not scheduled. Okay, this is not a scheduled routine where you go in on the same month, on the same day, at the same time. That's not how that works. And I think if people listened, really listened, not just heard, but listened, maybe they would understand that and not get upset or yell at you and make you feel bad for having to go and have a treatment done, but it didn't fit their schedule. Well, guess what? It doesn't fit ours either, but we still have to do it. This world has gotten so hard. And I don't mean work-wise. I mean relationship-wise, communication-wise, people-wise. I don't know how it changed or when it changed or even why it changed. But people don't have compassion anymore. It's very far and in between that you find somebody who actually has compassion for another human life. I think so too, that when a person is said, well, you know, like for example, my therapist and I have a therapy appointment tomorrow. We've been working on so many things, and I've discussed, she's like my human diary. And like I said, the one thing that her and I have been working on is me learning how to choose me, how to put my needs first, how to put those boundaries and keep them and don't let them get knocked down. Because in the past, I would set a boundary, and then at the end of the conversation, that boundary no longer existed. Tammy's learning not to do that anymore. Tammy's learned a lot about herself. And yes, I'm talking in third person. So the one thing that her and I have been discussing is self-love and choosing me, and listening to what my body needs, listening to my needs in general. But I just don't understand this world anymore. I don't get it. I don't understand how people can be so mean. And you can self-love, you can choose you, and still be a kind person. Just because you're putting yourself first and choosing you doesn't mean that your compassion for another human ends. You know, and some of you may be like, she's off topic. No, I'm very much on topic because everything I'm saying intertwines with one another. We have warriors out there that have amazing support systems, and they've been there since day one, and they're still there. Then we have warriors out there that had support systems and no longer do, or have had support when the person felt that it was necessary for them to support their warrior. You know, not consistent support like they need. We didn't ask for this. We're not trying to make your life miserable on purpose. I get it. It affects that person. It affects the support system. It affects the family. I understand that. That's a given. That's a given. Everybody acts so surprised when they hear that. Where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? I'm about to get brutal. So buckle up, buttercups. It's a given that it affects the family. If you have a heart and you have compassion and you have respect for another human life, it's going to affect you. That's not a surprise. I don't know why people are acting like it's such a surprise. Most of you know my story as a child, what I went through when my stepfather had his stroke and ended up paralyzed on his right side and didn't know anybody and couldn't speak, couldn't feed himself, couldn't use the bathroom. I was 7 years old. My mother was 8 months pregnant with her fourth child when all this happened. My stepfather was the only person that brought home the bacon, so to speak. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. She was raising 3 kids and about to have a 4th one. And the reason he had a stroke was because he had brain surgery to remove a tumor the size of a golf ball out of his head. And during that surgery, he had a stroke that paralyzed his entire left side. No, I'm sorry, right side. His entire right side had no mobility at all. The doctors told my mother he would never walk again. He would never talk again. That he was going to be like this and she would have to take care of him the rest of his life. Guess what? The man beat the odds and lived to be 87. He learned to walk. He walked with a limp. He learned to use his hand again. Not fully, but he had use with it. And the man was driving himself around, telling his stories like always, living independently on his own because my mother did divorce him years later. Had nothing to do with his health, okay? The man was fine when they divorced, okay? Not going to get personal. But they did split. And that man lived independently on his own until the day he took his last breath. And it affected us all. I remember going to school and being in the 1st grade, and I would get a thought of him and I would just cry, and my mom would have to come pick me up because I was so emotional and I couldn't be at school that day. I remember when we would go into the hospital to see him and his head's all bandaged up and he doesn't know who we are because he had no memory. And he had to relearn who everybody was until his memory started coming back. The man couldn't speak. I remember they brought a hospital bed in and it was sitting in our living room. And I remember after school, I would get up on the bed and I would read to him. And I would teach him his ABCs. And I would show him how to write. He had to learn how to hold a pencil. He had to learn how to write again. Yes, it affected every single person in his life, including our church family, the people it forced him into retirement. He worked for Chrysler's. So his Chrysler family, his family, my mother's side of the family, us kids, everybody, my cousins, my aunts, it affected everybody. So yeah, I get it. It affects the family. But you know what? Regardless on how much it affected them, Everybody that was in our family, including our church, including our neighbors, all came together and helped my mother. I remember the church brought over food. I remember our pastor would come to the house and talk to my mom and talk to my stepdad. I remember my aunt would come and stay with my mom for a couple days to help out. It affects everybody. Yes, it's going to. But you know what? They get through it. They're there. They all come together. It's a village. And they all come together to help out that warrior. If one couldn't be there for my mother, there was a backup. There was always somebody there. They were on call. And I get it, times are different. It's not the 80s anymore. I get that. Lord, do I get that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't live in a perfect world. I wasn't brought up in a perfect world. There were hard times. But I'm going to tell you, people then were so different than they are now. I lived growing up on a neighborhood. I literally, where I am from, I'm probably 15 minutes from where I grew up as a kid. Our neighbors, I lived in a time when your neighbors knew neighbors. It was like a family. And if you got in trouble, if you were doing something that you shouldn't be doing, you better bet your bottom dollar that neighbor's going to go right on you. They're going to be letting your parents know. And your parents, 9 times out of 10, would give that neighbor permission to correct you. When you went and stayed the night at a friend's house, that parent was allowed to correct you. If not, they were on the phone calling your mom if you was being bad. You didn't get away with anything as a kid. There was always somebody around that if they saw you, you best believe you're going to get tattled on. But it affects everybody, is what I'm getting at. Everybody. It affects. And I'm, and when I say this, it's no disrespect to the family because I get it. I've been in their shoes. I've been on both sides of this coin. And I understand it. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than the next because I've been there. What I'm saying to you is I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I can empathize. I get it. And even though it did affect them, they were there. They put on those big boy or big girl pants and they were there. And if that person couldn't be there, there was always somebody behind them that was. Why can't we live in a world like that now? I think the problem is society over the past 5, 6, 7 years, all these movements that's been going on. The world is just upside down crazy to me. I think that people have been, and I don't want to use the word brainwashed, but they've been told over and over and over again how self-love, choose you, boundaries, all that stuff. And it's good because I'm learning how to do all that myself now. I'm not saying that's bad. But what I'm trying to say is you can have that and still be a human being. I think some people have learned, like myself, especially people of my generation, when we grew up, there was none of that, boundary crap and this. There was none of that. And I'm not saying boundaries are crap, okay? But I'm saying that wasn't a thing. There just wasn't. And it's been made such a huge deal, which it should be. Self-love and choosing you and having your boundaries and being in a healthy you is very important. You can be that and still be a supporter. Still be there for somebody else is what I'm saying. You don't have to put a wall up and be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm choosing me today. So, no, I can't help you. You can be both. Hell, I've been both my whole life. And now that I have been reassessing my life, there are some people that don't like it. I've lost a lot of people. A lot of people don't associate with me anymore. That and the old me, that would have been very hurtful and upsetting to me. Am I saying that it's not hurtful or upsetting still? It is a little bit. It is. But the old me would have allowed that to consume me. I would have been questioning my worth. I would have been questioning what I did wrong. I would have been losing sleep over it. I would have been analyzing it to death. I'm not anymore. I'm not. I'm not going to chase people that don't want to be part of my life. They don't chase me. No one chases me. Why am I going to chase others that don't want to be part of my life? I reach out. I am reaching out to people. On days that I feel like I've been hit by a train, I'm reaching out to people, asking how they're feeling. I never, ever get a message asking me how I'm feeling. The only time I'm asked that question is when I ask it first. Now, I'm not saying, tit for tat, but the reality is that's the reality of it. I don't get text messages from my loved ones or from friends or acquaintances asking me how I'm doing. The only person that asks me that is my doctors and my therapist. That's it. I'm being realistic. I'm not going to hide the fact of what it is anymore. I'm trying to, and I get it, everybody's got things going on. We all do. We all do. But I'm not going to keep asking. I'm not going to extend a conversation. I'm not going to keep chasing. To me, if you are going to do that, it needs to be a mutual thing. Meaning, you're on your phone all the time. That phone is in your hand 24/7. You're either on social media or texting other people. Why don't you reach out to your warrior? Why? Because you don't want to hear it? You don't want to deal with it? I told you. I'm being brutal, so buckle up. That's the problem we have. I come up here and I try to be a window of support. I try to share my journey, which is basic. This is what this is. This is my journey, my truth. I try to be a supporter for my fellow warriors. I try to be a shoulder for them. I try to be, because I get it. I understand the frustration. I understand the pain. I'm in pain right now. I'm in pain 24/7. It never ends. Everything that touches my body hurts, including myself. When I touch my shoulders, when I'm touching it's just annoying. Don't touch me. If I could walk around with my arms out all day, I would, but that hurts too. Everything that touches me is annoying. It hurts. It's aggravating. It's just stop. It's like, enough. But I still try to live my best life. Yesterday, I did nothing. I didn't do anything yesterday. I'm sorry, it wasn't yesterday. Yesterday I did do some stuff. It was Saturday. Saturday I did nothing. I didn't do my dishes. I didn't make my bed. I know. For you that have been following me a long time, you know my bed gets made every morning, unless I'm in it. But when I'm not in bed all day, it gets made. I've been trying to get my routine back because with everything that's gone on, as I'm sure with you all too, when you have a huge hiccup in your routine or your life, things get a little out of order. And so you work on trying to get them back in order. And for us that live with CRPS, aka RSD, it's hard. I'm not saying it's not doable. I'm saying it's hard. And outside of my routine, I do my very best to live as a healthy person, which I'm not. But I put that mask on because I want to remember what it was like. And I try to hold on to as much of me as I possibly can. And over the years, it's getting harder to do. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But as long as it's still doable, And if I have to figure out a way to do it differently, I'm going to do that. I'm going to maintain my routine. I'm going to maintain a piece of me because I know one day.
What do we do? Going downstairs might be a bad idea. Yeah. Would you rather be up here trapped? At least there's two doors downstairs, one in the front and one in the back. You have to grab those devices and VPN.
I do not want to make this a crying fest. I don't want to get emotional.
It's just that Matthew wants to protect you.
Not going to happen. I know one day I'm not even going to recognize me. And I know that there are people probably in your life that don't recognize you anymore because of how CRPS, aka RSD, has changed you. How there's certain things that you've had to change. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You can't stop it. And you know how I hate that word. I hate that word. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. But it's the truth. There's gonna come a day where, you know, it's gonna get harder to hold on to you. And then you are gonna have to learn how to be a different person. We're doing that now with the ability of hanging on to parts of us. And, you know, I'm not going to let that go. Just like the rest of you aren't. We're going to hold on to that as long as we possibly can. I just wish that there was more support. And I think I mentioned in my last video drop, in the premiere that we had, in this, I think I mentioned how if our supporters came together and spoke out, and a lot of them don't, and I don't know why. I tried to get somebody to do it once. They said they would, and when the day came to doing it, they backed out. They didn't want to do it. I don't know why. If you're a true supporter and you love your warrior and you want the best for them and you want to be there for them the best way you can be, why don't you want to talk about that? By you speaking out, you're going to inform, just like me. You're going to be an advocate for supporters. Why wouldn't you want to be that? I don't understand why a true supporter would not want to speak out on the behalf of their warrior and so many others. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. Are you ashamed? Are you embarrassed? You'll support them as long as it's kept behind doors? Because if that's the case, you're not a true supporter. A true supporter is going to advocate for their warrior. They're going to shout it loud and proudly. So I don't understand why. And I think that if they did, maybe others would get it and be like, you know what? This makes sense. I need to step up. I need to do my part. Right? I just wish this world was different. I don't like this world. I've said it before and I will continue to say it. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't like the world we live in. If you can't be 100% true and real to me, don't speak to me. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. And it's just really, really sad. It's sad how, I mean, I keep my circle small. I'm very careful nowadays who I give my energy to. I've always been somewhat of an introvert, I guess, but I've always kept my circle small. I'm not a person with a large circle, never have been. But I just wish that the world was different. I wish that people still had compassion for one another, still respected human life. You know, and again, I'm sure there's some of you going, you're off topic. No, I'm not. It all intertwines, like I said before. Everything is a domino effect. If you have people around you or in your life that are not supporting you, that are not there for you, it makes it hard, right? People that support us have to understand that, like I said, our life is not scheduled. You know, so if we need something, for example, our medications picked up, don't get upset with us and go, well, I was just out yesterday. I don't feel like going out today. You should have told me. I would have picked them up yesterday. Well, they weren't there yesterday. When they get filled, when they get called in, I will tell you. Nothing is scheduled. We have to go through, at least I know I do, and I'm sure there's others out there that have the same routine when it comes to our medications. I have to go through 3 different steps before my medication is filled. I don't just call a pharmacy and go, hey, I need this refilled. That's not how that works. And I have to, every 6 months, do a urine drop for my medications. If I don't, my medications don't get filled. Tammy doesn't drive. So guess what? I have to try to find somebody before my next refill. I have to find somebody to take me to go drop off my pee so I can get it filled. If I don't keep my doctor appointments, they don't fill them. Thank God my doctor appointments are virtual. The only time I actually have to go is if I am having a treatment done. And then I've had it said to me, well, can you schedule it for this day? Because I have the, no, I can't. My specialist is only there a certain day on the week. He's not there every day doing treatments. It's not like that. You know, and again, if these people took the time to learn what it is that you have to go through every single month to get your medications, and you know what, and my treatments aren't scheduled. It's when I need them, I have them scheduled. So when they wear off and my body's screaming at me going, okay, it's time for a treatment, call the doctor, I call him. It's not a scheduled treatment. And there's people that have, and I've had people say to me, I can't take you. You need to make it for another day. No. Because when I call to get my treatment set up, I'm already having to wait a month or 2 months before I can even get there. And in that month and 2 months time, I am in agony because it's already worn off. So when you sit there and say to me, you need to reschedule it, oh, so you want to torture me more? No. You need to reschedule what you have to do that day because my treatments are more important. That is the problem. People don't clear a date. And when I make my appointment, like I said, it's usually a month or 2 months out. That is more than enough time for you to get your schedule right. So when that day comes, I expect you to pick me up. I expect you to take me. I don't expect to hear, oh, well, I need it for, no, it doesn't work around your schedule. Again, I'm being brutal, buckle up. I've held this in for so long. And when we have to go through, and I know I'm speaking for more than just myself, when we have to go through that, we already have to go and jump through enough hoops to get what we need. We don't need added hoops from our friends, our loved ones. We need your support. When we come to you and say, hey, I have an appointment on this day, we expect you to clear that day for us. When I get a treatment, I'm supposed to have somebody with me the first day of that treatment because when I come home, I'm still under the anesthesia. Or now they have me doing this different method for my neck injections, which is way worse, I feel like. But I'm supposed to have somebody with me the first day. Technically, the first 2 days. I don't. I get dropped off and I'm on my own. There's no support there. So when I say, hey, I have a treatment coming up, and you've agreed to take me, I need you to make at least 2 days for me. At least. That's all I'm asking. That's all any of us are asking. You can pause your important life for your crippled friend for 2 days. Is it really going to kill you? Especially if you are not there all the time. We are done listening to arguments every time we have to get our meds picked up, or arguments every time we have to get to the doctor, or arguments of you not understanding the situation. We have enough stress. I'm stressful right now talking to y'all because my blood was boiling, and that causes my anxiety to go up. And then anxiety and stress cause what? A flare-up. You'd know that if you took the time to listen. We don't have the energy to fight. We don't have the energy to argue. We need to be held with kid gloves. I'm just going to put it out there because nobody else is going to say it. And if that interrupts your sense of being, I'm not going to apologize for what we need. You all should be the ones apologizing for the ignorance and the way you act when we need your help. But you know what? If you need something from us, we're there. Even though we are going through this, we still show up and do our best. We still help when and where we can, even though it's taking our spoons, our energy, to the point where we're down for a couple days afterwards. Do we get a thank you? Do we get, I'm sorry you're feeling like this, I should have known better? No, we don't. We do not. You know why? Because we're yesterday's leftovers. We're trash. Might as well put us at the curb. We're the redheaded stepchild that nobody wants. I'm a person that sits and I absorb and I watch and I listen. And there's so much BS, it's not even funny. But when we share how all of that BS makes us feel, we're the bad guys. We're the ones hurting your feelings. Really? All right. We are made to feel like a burden every day of our life. And that's why I don't reach out. I have, and when I do, it's very limited. I don't rely, I don't depend on anybody but me. Because when I have, it's been World War III. And I've had warriors come to me and say the same thing. I've tried to reach out. I've tried to get that help that you suggested. And when I do, I get an earful. It's an argument. I get ignored. I get ghosted. That's sad. And then you want to go, well, you only call me when you want something. You know what? People that only reach out, and I'm going to be honest, if I reach out to you, you are my last resort. Because of the type of person I am and my personality, I rely on me, I depend on me. And if I can't figure out a solution, then I will reach out. You are my last resort. Again, I'm being brutal. But buckle up. I'm being brutal. I'm done. I'm done pretending that the world is made of lemon drops and unicorns, because it's not. I have done this for too many years. And it gets to the point where we start getting hard, where we start getting to the point where we don't like people. We get annoyed and aggravated by people. And that is because of all the BS that we've been put through. We didn't ask to be this way. We didn't ask to be sick. We didn't ask to be disabled. We didn't ask to be in a position where we're unable to work and have a normal life. We didn't ask for any of this. Guess what, though? It was given to us without permission. We weren't born this way. We were born healthy individuals who had a life, who had jobs, who lived life, who enjoyed life, who went and on vacations and traveling and whatever. We had that. We had a busy schedule. We know what it's like to be busy. We know all that life. We've been there. And now we don't have that no more. We have this life that we've had to learn how to live. And with CRPS, aka RSD, that changes all the time. We get and this is the thing, we can't even get comfortable or settle with the routine that we finally get, because we know in a year or so it's going to change, if not sooner. We're going to have to relearn again how to get through a day. It changes all the time. The pain, the symptoms, everything, medications, treatments. I've had treatments added. When I first was diagnosed, I didn't have treatments done. I didn't have the medical team I have now my first year. I only had one treatment done, and that was the sympathetic nerve block. I did that for quite a few years. And then about maybe 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, I think, I started trigger points. Okay, so then I was getting both of those done. And then because of my disability and the fact that I have now drop foot, and because of the drop foot, I walk tiptoed on my right foot. My ankle does not bend. My toes do not move. Okay, it's fused in place. I walk tiptoed on my right foot. And because of that, I now have scoliosis, which is painful. So if anybody tells you it's not, but they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I've had people say, oh yeah, they got scoliosis. It's not painful. Do you have it? Because it is. It shifts your body. It can crush your organs. It's very, very serious. So I have scoliosis. The last time I was checked, I was at 17 degrees, meaning how badly it is. I know it's gotten worse. I have to go in and have another x-ray done to see where I'm at now in my degrees. But when I first was diagnosed with it, I was at 17. But I know it's gotten worse because of the way my body is. And because of that, I have neck issues. So it affects everything about me. And I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, brain fog, memory. I don't even know where I was going with that whole rant, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. All I know is people need to grow a heart. You all are the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. He doesn't have a heart. Y'all need to get one. Click those heels and ask for help. Let Dorothy and Toto bring you a heart. You all need one. It's ridiculous to me how cold-hearted, and because of the way we are being treated, I've noticed a change in myself. I mean, yes, my therapist is working with me on self-growth, and I am doing that, and I feel good when I do that. It's scary. It's a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not easily intimidated, but that intimidates me because I've never had the opportunity. I've never had that taught. I've never had that choice. And I'm 53 years old, and I am now being told, you have options. You're allowed to choose you first. You're allowed to put you first. You are worthy. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to have boundaries. I am being taught all that at 53. 53 years of my life, I went through life not knowing any of that stuff and being everyone's doormat. I'm learning I don't have to be everyone's doormat. I'm learning I can say no and it's okay. And if that person gets upset with me because I said no, well, it shows their true colors. It shows their true worth because I'm only good for that person when I can do for that person. And it's sad because when you become disabled, you true colors, especially if you're a person that was always a doer for others and you can no longer be that doer, stand back and watch who's left. Stand back and watch how so many scatter like cockroaches. Stand back and watch how many people you have left in your corner at the end of the day. Not very many. Because when you are a doer, when you are constantly there for others and constantly just being a doormat, putting that hand out every time they put theirs out, being that I'll do, no, I got it, no, you're fine, being that type of person. And then when you're unable to be that doer for others like you were before, watch how many people are left in your corner. I can promise you not many. That there, on top of already having to live like this, that there is a knife to the gut. Because when you are a doer, you're not doing it to see what you'll get in return. You're doing it from your heart, from your soul. You're doing it because you genuinely love that person and want to do that for that person. And when you're unable to do that anymore, you'll see just what you meant to them. Because if you meant anything, if they were 1000% generous and thankful and blessed for you, they'll still be there. But if they're a person that just, oh, Tammy will do, Christy will do, this person will do that. Oh yeah, I'll call her up. She's always doing for others. She's always there. And the minute you can't be, the minute you can no longer be that doer, everything will change. Everything. My hips start to hurt because I'm... And mine has spread. It's starting to affect my left side now. There's a lot going on with me that a lot of people don't even know because nobody wants to stay long enough to listen. Nobody wants to pencil me in their busy schedule. Nobody wants to hear because they've got other things to do. And when and there have been times where I have used my energy to talk like I am to you guys, and it goes in one ear and out the other. And then when the time comes to where something I've talked to them about happens, or I need something, or they get upset. I just sat and spent an hour with you the other day talking to you about what was going on, and now you're upset. Everything is our fault. It's your fault you're sick. It's your fault you're disabled. It's your fault you can't do this. It's your fault you can't do that. Everything's our fault. Because they've got it in their head that we've done this on purpose.
You're good, right? We're good?
I mean, I don't know.
I genuinely feel like I could throw up right now. Where do we go? Like, what do we do? You know? Where are we safe? Is there any safe area?
People are insane. People are crazy. People don't make sense. They just don't make sense anymore. I don't think they ever did. I think maybe I was fooling myself. I think maybe I wanted to see it in a different way. I wanted to believe in a different way. And maybe this is, I'm a person that analyzes things. And I've always believed and felt that everything in your life is already written out for you, and it happens for a reason.
Something just knocked on that fucking wall. Bro, something's going on.
I'm still trying to figure out 100% what the reason is for me. And maybe there isn't one. Maybe I've already learned it. Maybe I'm already doing it. Because I've seen a lot of different things since this. I've noticed I've gone not just on a personal level, not just on a medical personal level, but in my personal life. I've seen so many different shades of black and gray and, nothing pretty come from people. Sorry, my hips hurting. I gotta stretch it out. Oh. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've already learned it. Maybe I've already been through it. Maybe I'm going through it now.
Is it too late? Wait, what time is it?
But we've been up here over an hour. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about reality. And I know that some of my warriors, if not about half of my warriors, can relate to what I talked about today. And if you can, know that I am sending you hugs. Know that you are always, always in my prayers. I'm always thinking about you guys. I wish, and I've said this 1,000 times before, but I'm going to say it 1,000 times more. I wish I had a magic wand where I could go around like Cinderella's godmother and just wave it over your head and make you well again. Give you back everything you've lost. Change everything. I wish I could do that for you all. But unfortunately, I cannot. The only thing I can do is be here, be your friend, support you, educate others, share my story and my truth. And maybe by doing that, it will open the eyes of so many others. Maybe it will get them to start to think about how they're treating their loved one, their warrior. Maybe it'll get their minds going. Maybe they'll be like, you know what? She's right. I've been acting like a pure jackass. I need to stop. I need to step up. I need to be that person. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Miracles happen every day. That's what I keep telling myself. Miracles happen every day. But I am going to go because my hip hurts and I need to stretch. So just keep that in mind. I am here for you. I love you. And I understand. And our community is open. You guys want to, there's always, I'm always posting in there. I do believe I have it set to where you all can post as well. So if there's stuff you want to share, if there's things you want to talk about, we can do that. This is my journey, my truth, but I'm inviting to share. I'm inviting you all. I am sharing with you all. And I invite you all to go over to the community and just kind of, take a gander. But I'm here for you always. Even on my bad days, I'm thinking about you. And I'm sending you all gentle hugs. And I'm sending you prayers for a LPD. For you that don't know what that means, it's low pain day. And just know that you have a friend in me and you always will. And I wish that I could just make it all go away. Unfortunately, I don't have that power. The only power I have is the power of friendship that I can do for you. But I'm going to go. I love you all. I'm sending you all gentle hugs. And for you supporters out there that are supporting your warriors, awesome sauce. Keep it up. You guys are amazing. Spread the word. Share your knowledge of being a supporter. And maybe by you doing that, it'll get others to open their eyes and their ears and start seeing and listening to what we are trying to tell them and show them. But in the meantime, I'm going to go. Again, I'm sending you all gentle hugs. LPDs, you're always in my prayers. And we'll talk again real soon. Until then, ciao for now. Bye.